Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. There's something deeply perverse about these events. Every single time you see the same leftoid figures, the same faces, attaching themselves onto these news stories, like frickin' leeches, they try to paint themselves as compassionate figures who just care so much. They care so much that they're gonna do and say something about it. That's of course the marketing tool, but the reality seems to be quite different. These people are vultures, like I keep saying, or as I've been saying, especially the last couple of days, and it's moments like these that really put it all into perspective. The Al Sharptons, the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortezes of the world once again arrive on the scene to make everything about them. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so we're talking about the whole Jordan Neely situation in New York City once again. We've covered this extensively. You already know all the facts of the case, you know my opinion, you know where I stand. I don't know if we're going to delve too deep into the actual issue itself, maybe a little bit. The focus today, however, on this Jordan Neely situation is on the race grifting vultures. The money pours in New York City, of course making a whole spectacle. And guess who makes sure to be there on camera, in the spotlight? Once again, the man of the hour taking in all the glory. None other than Reverend Al Sharpton.
Brothers, good to see the brothers.
Making sure to look sad, face the cameras, put a particular face on, and show his discontent to the camera, make everything about himself because he knows that he's gonna make it all over the internet, probably on the front page of a couple magazines or newspapers. The Jordan Neely situation goes from being about supposedly Jordan Neely to now being about Reverend Al Sharpton. Not to celebrate the individual's life, not to protest any injustice, but to make cheap political points at the ceremony. What is Reverend Al Sharpton doing, you might ask? Here he is, eulogizing Jordan Neely by attacking Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
Say that the man that killed Jordan was a good Samaritan. Well, and they've raised over $2 million for this man. Well, I know, Governor DeSantis, that you putting black history and LGBTQ and Latino out of the school. But I have a Bible to put in the governor's office. Because apparently you don't know what the Good Samaritan was. Jesus told the parable of the Good Samaritan. He said there was a man beaten and robbed, Aunt Mildred, and put by the side of the road.
I mean, what a disgrace. I can't imagine it. I'm gonna use some harsh words, some people might call it hyperbole, whatever. To have your funeral proceedings hijacked by a bunch of New York City politicians, it's just so insulting. I mean, Jordan Neely can't consent to this political messaging. I'm assuming his family's involved, but they're honestly probably being railroaded at this point with tons of legal promises. We're gonna make you rich. We're gonna sue the city. We're gonna sue the police department. We're gonna pay for the funeral, put your son in a gold and ivory casket, make a whole spectacle. We're gonna do the right thing is probably what they're telling the family. But what they really mean is we're gonna take advantage so we can continue to be in the spotlight. That's the reality here. The only way to get a Democrat politician to care about you is by having suffered some sort of consequence in a particular manner that helps promote their narrative. This whole thing is beyond despicable at this point. The Jordan Neely situation had nothing to do with race. Absolutely nothing. But just the racial component, the racial dynamic, ex-Marine Daniel Penny being white and Jordan Neely being black, means that people like Al Sharpton can come in and all of a sudden make it about race. Of course, most people aren't paying attention to the fact that one of the individuals who subdued Jordan Neely on that train happened to also be black. Some of the black individuals on that subway cart probably view Daniel Penny as a hero, as an individual who stepped up and did the right thing, yet none of that matters. None of those facts matter, because it's not like MSNBC viewers actually pay attention. It's not like people who follow Al Sharpton blindly will ever learn the truth. It's like I always say, these these leftist Twitter folk, these MSNBC viewers, still think that Kyle Rittenhouse was a mass shooter who indiscriminately targeted black people. People unironically still believe that. They don't know the facts of this case. From their perspective, based on everything that's gone on here, all the rhetoric, the primetime segments, the activism on the streets, and now the funeral proceeding, people probably perceive Jordan Neely as just an innocent victim who was targeted because of the color of his skin. It's ridiculous. And if that very shallow, very surface level racial component or racial dynamic wasn't there, none of this would have ever happened. You think Al Sharpton would give a crap if the races were reversed? Never. They care only and solely about the narrative. They don't even care about being right. Who cares that in 2015 Jordan Neely kidnapped a 7-year-old girl? Who cares that Jordan Neely in 2019 assaulted an old man on the street? Who cared that in 2021 Jordan Neely attacked a 67-year-old woman and broke her nose? Who cares? All that matters is that they can grift off the news story and put themselves in the focal point. And that's exactly what's going on. And the younger generation is learning from the old. Guess who else showed up? Making sure that she got in on the action. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, of course. Showing up like a celebrity in a big black Suburban.
Thank you so very much.
AOC, what do you think about Governor DeSantis calling Penny a good Samaritan?
I think you should read a Bible. Thank you.
Yeah.
AOC.
Oh. There you go. Thank you.
Kind of interesting that she's rolling around in a gas-guzzling caravan. You'd expect her to be wearing hemp clothing, riding to the funeral on a 50-year-old refurbished bicycle. But of course, the champagne socialist had to get involved so New York photographers could snap a picture and Reuters could put AOC at the top of the article with this photograph right over here. So emotional and so serious. The same exact grift, the same thing she did when visiting the southern border. Again, more political theater. Oh, the horror on the other side of this fence. It's unimaginable what AOC is seeing at this moment. Pay no mind to the fact that she was literally staring into a parking lot. Oh, the horror. AOC is big sad at the injustice. Jordan Neely's life being taken. Accidentally, I might add. The charges currently being pursued are second-degree manslaughter. Inherently accidental, but his life being taken after he threatened people's lives, lobbed terroristic threats in a closed subway cart in the New York City underground. I mean, let's just put it into perspective. George Floyd, supposedly a leftist icon and hero, pointed a gun at a pregnant woman's belly. Jordan Neely was arrested 44 times, and he kidnapped a little 7-year-old girl in 2015 and assaulted multiple elderly people. Supposedly, these are heroes. These are leftist heroes, and leftist politicians are going to go out of their way to make noise, raise millions of dollars, create these massive spectacles. But if the races of these individuals were reversed, you wouldn't hear a peep. And in other cases, where it's black-on-black crime or gang shootings or other horrific events, again, not a peep. The selective outrage is so ridiculous, and what's even more ridiculous is how these giant Democrat spectacles always seem to glorify and glamorize and celebrate actual proven criminals. It's such a perverse grift, and there's really nothing else to say. That's what I got for you. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Of course, you know we'd love to have you here. Thanks for watching, friends, and I'll see you on the next one.